talk about. So when you're challenging, you want to deny the opponent options, right? So we talk about this a lot about pressure and how we don't want the opponent to play their game. So every opponent's going to have their strengths and weaknesses. In this case, if they want to dribble the ball, if they want to exert pressure on you aerially, then what you need to do is you need to either go high or go low, go early or go late. And you need to deny them an option. So if I know that in this case, obviously here I'm last man, so I need to be a little bit careful. But I know that Zul's rotating back, and he's rotating back at speed as well, so he's going to be able to get there quickly. I know that this slow play, as the ball gets popped up slowly, I know that I can maybe not get the beat on him necessarily, but I can at least deny him an option of going high or going low, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in this case high, and I'm going to try and force him to fake and go low, or I'm going to, you know, clean beat him as I do in this case. And it's important that you win the second ball. If you're going to turn the tide and you're going to exert pressure on the opponent, you've got to be ready for the second ball. So in this case, obviously, University League, we're in comms, so we're all talking to each other. We can communicate where the ball's going to go, that, you know, I can communicate that I'm up, that I'm challenging, that I'm going high as well. So it's important that you have both implicit communication and explicit communication. You can communicate just from your car's movements, i.e. don't hesitate, you're not turning, you're not cutting, you're rotating cleanly. But at the same time, if you are playing on a team, and I recommend that you do because ranked solo queue is horrendous, I know, then please use that advantage. You've got comms available, so that is a big advantage that you're going to have compared to other teams. So here it doesn't lead to anything in this play, but again, look, we are looking for each other. So immediately I know I've got time, I've got a free ball here, so Zul's probably communicated that to me at that point, because again, everyone's going to have different angles, right? So if you think about ball cam and not having ball cam on, in this case Zul's got a great view of what's going on, so he can communicate that to me, that I've got time, that I've got no one on my left, because I can only see 2 players at this point, right? So you can either turn ball cam on and off, or you can use your right stick to swivel. Sorry, you can't do that on keyboard, unfortunately, for my keyboard students. But yes, if you can swivel, or at least I recommend, if you're on keyboard, at least turn ball cam on and off. I'm going to look for Hebe. It's not a great pass, to be honest with you, because, well, it's a struggle. I'm on 0 boost here, but Hebe's going to do well to improvise, and he's going to get it to Zul, and we're going to score off of it. So let's watch it back from Zul's. Let's go with Hebe actually. So here Zul's going to go. I'm going to get the pass to Hebe. Hebe's going to go to Zul, and Zul's going to get a quick shot. And you see here, look at the opponent. So remember I talked earlier about how you want someone on the backboard, you want someone in the goal, and you want someone to block off the pass? They've got the right idea, but as soon as this overcommit happens, really RMD could fake challenge this, come back round, and just have that extra body, so that now maybe Ross or Starch can go earlier and maybe make a play on it. So they're kind of in no man's land here, where it's kind of RMD's gonna land out here, and he's gonna be out of the play. Zul knows, because he grinds, I tell you right now, he grinds those shooting packs more than anyone else that I know. So he's gonna get a power shot. This is Zul. This is vintage Dr. Zul action right here for you. And you can see that Ross is again in no man's land. He's not pressuring. He's not denying anyone any options here. Zul can't, he can do whatever he wants. He can control the ball, he can shoot. So Ross isn't denying any options, but at the same time, Starch is on the wrong side. So if someone was inside the goal, like here, now all of a sudden, that easy shot is denied. Zul probably has to look for the backboard, or he's got to control the ball and go for a slow play, right? But because the options were not denied in this case, it enables Zul to do what he wants to do. So you can see here, Starch should be here, inside the goal. Because as soon as this pass comes in, he's now on the wrong side. This is why infield passes are so powerful at, in this case, GC2, GC3 level. But to be honest, if you can learn it earlier, learn it earlier. I have some drills for that, if you're interested. But what this is going to do is it's going to turn the ball, if you look at the ball trail, from this side to this side, and now what was the back post is now the front post, so that he's now on the wrong side. Start should be here now, but because he didn't have any momentum in the way that he rotated just across like so, he's now stuck. He can turn here and he's gonna get stuck on the post, right? So wider rotations. Well, if I go back to RMD, look, RMD still out the play. So if he had fake challenge, come round, maybe had someone on the backboard, had someone in the goal, had someone further forward to them than where Ross is. So this is a case of being one player being too aggressive, and other players not being aggressive enough. You've either got to go aggressive, or you've got to back off and play with a lower block. So another question that I get is on kickoffs, and again, this varies per rank, but I'm going to give you the general advice that I say usually in my first session for you right now. And again, this will change based on your playstyle, based on your mechanics, based on whether you can speed flip or not. But generally speaking, the one flip kickoff is going to be too slow. And so I get a lot of questions about why do I need to do a two flip kickoff over a one flip kickoff. The reason why is because if you do a one flip kickoff, you're going to get beaten by the opponent who does a two flip or a speed flip kickoff. And so you can only get a 50% chance of winning the kickoff, unless you try and lose the kickoff, which is a different strategy I can go into another time. But if you're trying to block the kickoff, because you're slower, you're going for a one flip kickoff, you can either block centrally, which would be going for the center of mass of the ball, or you can hook inside, or you can hook outside, this way, relative to Zul's positioning here, right? So what Zul's going to do is he's going to turn his car one way, right? The reason for this is because doing a diagonal flip or a speed flip or a side flip, I also teach sometimes in different, it depends again on your play style. But if you think about all of those three flips that I mentioned, they all do one thing, and that is they all take you off center. So what you need to do is you need to calibrate your approach angle needs to be compensated for that, if that makes sense. So in simpler terms, you've got to turn one way, flip the other way. So Zul's going to flip over the first pad. It's always over the first boost pad. That is super important. It doesn't matter if you're here, doesn't matter if you're here, doesn't matter what kickoff you're on. It's always the first boost pad that you see. So, he needs to flip over this pad. For me, I need to flip over this pad too. Or actually, in this case, I'm going to go for that boost, most likely. But kickoff strategies is a whole another world that I can talk about another time. But he's going to flip over the first boost pad. He's going to land before... Wait, let me explain from Hebe's positioning, actually. In Hebe's positioning, he's going to flip over the first boost pad, and he's going to land before the next boost pad. But if there's only one, what you want to do is you want to aim for the circle. For the diagonal kickoffs especially. So, Zul's aim is to land before this big circle. You see this big circle here? This big circle is on every single map in the game. And the reason why it's in every single map in the game is because it looks nice, yes. But I think it's a perfect signal for when to jump for your kickoff as well. Maybe it wasn't designed like that in the first place, I don't know, but that's what I personally think. So what you're going to do is you're going to jump as you enter the big circle, and you're going to flip as you enter the mini circle. This mini circle is also on every single map. And then, depending on whether you are faster or slower, you've then got to decide, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to go through the center of mass of the ball and try and win it? Are you going to try and lose it to the corner, where I'm going to go back to this corner here, so that I can win the second ball? Or are you going to try and hook inside or outside to try and target a side wall? Or are you just going to kill the ball? That's another option if you do a hard cheat. For Hebe, so you've got to iron these strategies out with your team. Now in this case, Hebe's trying to force it through, and so is Ross, and it is a contested 50. So you have the second ball. Who's going to win the second ball? As you can see from the center of mass to one side, the ball's obviously going to go this way. It's going to smash the sidewall, and we're in a fairly good position here because we've pushed them back. They are too close together, and as you can see from the timeline, from the saves that are going to happen, Zul is able to control the ball. Let's watch from Zul's perspective. He's going to be able to control the ball, and we're going to be able to then pop it up, win the second ball, because, and I recommend you do this, plug your replays into ballchasing.com. It will give you loads of stats. We use it for our team. I use it for coaching as well. I was going to show you Ashley's gameplay because we saw that Ashley's team was all too close together, and that's why they were getting beat. And so in this case, what's going to happen is we're going to notice that these guys are way too far away. They're way too close together as well. And so Zul's just going to just pop the ball up a little bit, and Hebe's then got a free hit. So those are the themes I wanted to talk about today. This could be a very long video, but I don't want to put you to sleep. So those are kind of the main questions, knowing your role on the team. In this case, I'm going to be the setup man, if you want. We joke that, you know, it's the janitor role. You know, the cleanup role, if you want. But I'm basically the person that's going to create for Hebe. Hebe's our mechanical maestro. He's the one that we're creating space for so that he can do something fun. Here's a nice shot from me, good save. And Zul is the rock of the team. He's our, you know, off the post. Whoa. He is going to be the most important put away man, but also, oh my gosh, what am I doing? What am I doing? Look at this. So we talk about pressure, right? What's the best way to absolutely destroy all the pressure that you just spent, in this case, a minute or so creating? You go all the way to your back corner, as far away from the ball as possible. You try and get the big, juicy 100 boost. You absolutely whiff it. Okay, I got it a second time lucky, but look at the time that I wasted. Oh my gosh. You can't win them all.